wants to make sure that Dragon is good to go for approach. And there's a great view from Dragon looking at the International Space Station. There you can see that forward docking port front and center with the Crew 12 Dragon spacecraft just above it. That is Dragon Freedom that arrived to station after a launch on February 13th, carrying Jessica Meir, Jack Hathaway, Sofia Adno, and Andrei Fedyaev. You can also see below the forward docking port NG-24, Northrop Grumman's cargo resupply services mission that occurred earlier in April. And a fantastic view of the International Space Station. You see the Kibo module to the right-hand side for JAXA, the Columbus module, ESA module to the left of the forward docking port, as Dragon continues its approach, and again will hold at waypoint 2.
Station Houston on Space to Ground 2, with the request to please close the cupola shutters.
I understand you want us to close all of them, or we leave one open for monitoring?
And sorry about that, Jack. You can keep the one you need for SA, and the others you can close.
That doesn't work.
Coming up on 5 seconds until Dragon will reach waypoint 2, which will again be 20 meters in front of the forward docking port of the International Space Station, which you can see right there in the middle of your screen of the ESA astronaut Sophie Adno reporting down that the vehicle is in its hold and at the proper distance, 20 meters, and is in good alignment. But again, a 5-minute hold is underway, a little more than a minute gone in that hold, and we'll continue to monitor. £500 of food, cargo, supplies, and science to the orbiting laboratory. We are now about 50 seconds away from the end of that 5-minute hold, and we'll continue to monitor the final leg of Dragon's journey to the orbiting laboratory. And you can start to see the shadows building up on the Dragon cargo spacecraft as it and the International Space Station now making its way into an orbital nighttime.
We see hold transition to approach to a line point. We were expecting to see approach to docking ports. Scratch that, we see the transition now. Vehicle modes now approach to docking port. We're in block 5.
Using copies.
Houston Station for the block Bravo. Range is 80 meters and the vehicle is
Using copies.
And with that, 18 meters and closing as the hold has completed and Dragon has continued its approach on its way to docking. We'll continue to stand by. Anticipated docking about 3.5 minutes from now. Dragon spacecraft now inside 15 meters from the International Space Station. And a great view there, the forward docking port on the right-hand side, and Dragon making that slow, methodical approach off the left. And there you can see some of the minor adjustments it's making to properly align itself with that forward docking port, as we are now 11 meters away, is all that separates the cargo spacecraft and the International Space Station.
In the station for Block Bravo, the range is 10 meters and decreasing. The vehicle is centered, and the largest error observed is that less than half a degree.
Using copies.
Dragon now 8 meters away from the International Space Station, standing by. And again, you can see those minor adjustments and pushes forward for the Dragon cargo spacecraft to align with that forward docking port on the right side in front of the Harmony module of the International Space Station, now approaching inside 5 meters. Now,
Station, we reach 2 meters, crew hands off point.
Concur.
crew hands off point, standing by for contact.
Dragon contact and soft capture complete.
I think we're moving to section 9 of the procedure for soft capture.
Contact and soft capture complete at 5:37 a.m. Central Time, 6:37 a.m. Eastern, as the International Space Station and the Dragon Cargo Resupply Services mission have come together over the Northwest Pacific Ocean. Again, capture confirmed and soft capture completed at 5:37 a.m. Central Time, 6:37 a.m. Eastern Time. NASA's SpaceX 34th Commercial Resupply Services mission has arrived to the International Space Station.
Ring retraction in progress.
And we just heard that the soft capture ring retraction is now in progress. That'll pull the Dragon cargo spacecraft closer to that forward port of the Harmony module. in which the hooks will clamp around to form the hard mate, and we'll monitor those 2 sets of 6 hooks that will form the tight seal between the Dragon spacecraft and the International Space Station. And again, thank you for following along with us this morning as NASA's SpaceX's 34th commercial resupply services mission has reached the International Space Station, with docking at 5:37 a.m. Central Time at 6:37 a.m. Eastern, as the International Space Station and the Cargo Dragon spacecraft were orbiting 260 miles above the Earth over the Northwest Pacific Ocean. And this will complete a some 37-hour journey for the Dragon spacecraft upon liftoff from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. That occurred on a Friday evening at 6:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:05 p.m. Central. And both Dragon and the International Space Station making its way into an orbital nighttime, so the daylight of the sun will fade off. There you can see the navigation light, the green navigation light, the starboard side of the Dragon cargo spacecraft that NASA astronaut Jack Hathaway and ESA astronaut Sophie Adno, who were monitoring the approach and docking today from the cupola, were using to help monitor the orientation.